Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime Local News. RCMP and fire crews remain on scene at a house that was the target of a search warrant in Lloydminster yesterday. Police have the area around the home blocked off. Members in hazmat suits could be seen going into the residence on 44th Street throughout the day. The highway around the scene was blocked off for several hours yesterday as a police tank was brought in to help with the search warrant. RCMP have not released any further information at this time. One more person has died of COVID-19 in Saskatchewan. It was a person in the 70 to 79 age range in the Regina region. 11 new cases are being reported. 10 of those are from communal living settings. 9 cases are in the South Central region, 1 in Saskatoon, and 1 in the Southwest zone. 13 people are in hospital, 6 of those in intensive care. A total of 1,164 people have recovered. Lakeland College is getting an upgrade as Alberta's Premier Jason Kenney was in Vermilion yesterday to announce funding towards the school. Eric Bay reports.
Alberta's government is providing $17.27 million to Lakeland College, which will go towards modernizing the Mead building. The funding comes as part of the government's plan to focus on agriculture to diversify Alberta's economy.
As the world's population grows and more and more people in the developing world join the ranks of the middle class, the demand for safe, healthy, high-quality food is certain to rise, and Alberta is going to need ever more sophisticated farmers and ag practices and technologies to win a greater share of that growing global market. The investments that we are making here at Lakeland College will therefore pay big dividends.
The building, which houses labs and classrooms, will become more energy efficient and create more spaces for student learning. The upgrades will be done in stages for minimal disruption.
We have a contingency plan, so we'll make sure that no student is left behind for what they need space for. We have other spaces where we will look at if we can get the construction started right away. We're going to be doing a staggered approach, so at no time in the future will this place be full capacity all at once.
Students will continue to use the Mead building this fall as Lakeland is using a blended learning approach with safety protocols being closely monitored according to Advanced Education Minister Demetrius Nicolaides.
Some will be seeing some of the programming be delivered online, while other students can return, whether that's to use laboratory spaces or other facilities. We do have very specific guidelines around sanitation and maintenance of physical distancing, and we'll continue to update those, of course, as we respond to the pandemic.
The Mead building is used by 550 students annually, and Lakeland College has seen large growth in its agricultural sciences program, with a 100% increase in enrollment since 2010. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
The Alberta government is proposing changes by reducing the property taxes of oil and gas companies, which could mean big problems for many rural communities in Alberta. Connor Chan has reaction from the County of Vermilion River on what could be coming.
Dale Sarifa, the RE for the County of Vermilion River, joins me today. Now, Dale, I know there's proposed changes coming to many communities across Alberta, including the County of Vermilion River, with proposed tax increases for residential and non-residential buildings. So what could this mean for the County of Vermilion River long term?
Well, for the County of Vermilion River, it's in order to meet the assessment, it's a loss of approximately $3.9 million. That could be one of the scenarios that is coming for us. There's 4 scenarios, but that's one that the oil industry was pushing for, was scenario 4, which would be a loss of about $3.9 million. So that means either a reduction in the services we provide or even a reduction of staff.
How frustrating is it to hear about these numbers, especially in a time where we're in a pandemic and the economy hasn't fully gotten back on track?
Yeah, it's difficult to hear. We've been struggling with the economy since it would be about, say, the mid 2013, 2014. We've been looking at ways to cut back on our expenses with the oil industry, the slowdown and everything. The economy has been hurting since back then, and our agricultural industries had some major hits these past few years. So we know that we've had a lot of struggles we're working with, and now we have additional issues that we're dealing with the COVID and everything. But it's definitely combines and adds more to our issues, more that we have to think about and try and find ways to make it work out.
Have you had the chance to speak to Garth Rosewell about how you're feeling? And I know that there's lots of municipalities frustrated as well, talking to their MLAs, but what has Garth had to say about this so far?
Yes, we've had a brief chat with Garth. We're going to meet with him this week, and we are going to have some, discussions, see if he's gotten any additional information. That's what we want to know primarily, is how it's going to affect us. We haven't heard much or anything really from the government except their proposals, and primarily through the RMA. And that's where we need to get this information to know the impacts to us.
Since the information was released, was there any residents that contacted you expressing any major concerns that they had?
Yeah, well, there's always concerns, with the tax, issues that, that we have, concerns on where the taxes are. We don't want to see an increase, definitely, to our residential or commercial in the area. The oil industry, if they're going to get a break, if it's going to happen, we'd like to see that somehow that money could be reinvested into our area. That would be one thing that would assist us, but we don't feel that it's proper to put the taxes onto our residents.
Is there a realistic chance that the money could be reimbursed into communities if they choose to go with this particular proposal?
Well, some are multinational oil companies, so we don't know if it's going to be reinvested into the area. We'd love to see it, get the, some businesses going, and the opportunity to have a lot of, employment within the area. But there's no guarantees on this. So, I mean, it does make a difference, but we want to see what the province is proposing to us, and then we'll have a better understanding of how it is actually going to affect the county of Vermilion River.
Now, I understand there were a couple of other scenarios presented. Just take us through what some of those other scenarios are.
The first one, we would actually see a little bit of a benefit on it. We would see a benefit. The second scenario is almost like a break even. The third scenario, we would be down, I think, approximately $400,000. And the last scenario, we would be down to $3.9 million. And that's the one that the industry is pushing for. And we need to see exactly what the plan is from the province, so we can look at, have our say on what we feel needs to be done.
And lastly, Dale, just before we wrap things up, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Like I say, the primary thing is finding out exactly what it's going to do and the scenario that they're going to choose, and the companies, the tiers, the different tiers in the companies that are going to be affected and benefit. We know that we have some tier 1 companies in the area that are going to see assistance, but we need to get that information, and so we can know how it's going to support the county of Vermilion River. And we know it's definitely going to hurt many of the other municipalities. We don't want to see that happen. So we're in support of all the municipalities, but we really want to know how it's going to affect our county, which is somewhat unique.
Well, Dale, I really appreciate your time, and thanks very much for joining me today.
Now we're Connor Chan. We'll take a look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. Taking a look at temperatures right now, another gorgeous day for us here in Lloydminster. We should get used to it now, because by tomorrow we could see the temperatures dropping just a little bit, up to maybe closer to 20 degrees as opposed to close to 30, what we've seen over the last couple of days. 29 degrees right now, though, with mostly sun and a little bit of cloud coverage, as we could possibly rather expecting some thunder showers on top of that. So take a look at some temperatures around the area right now. 28 in Vermilion and Marwayne, along with Vegreville and Edmonton. 31 degrees up in Cold Lake and Bonnyville and Lac La Biche. 31 also for Provost. 32 degrees, out in Macklin and North Battleford right now, with 29 degrees in Maidstone and St. Walburg, and more 30-degree marks in Saskatchewan and Meadow Lake and Isle of Cross, and 33 degrees out in Green Lake. So we are still in the heat warning right now, as you can see all this in pink here, including in the St. Paul area and the Meadow Lake and St. Walburg areas. We are in still that heat warning, along with most of the rest of Midwest and southern Alberta, excuse me there. But there is some severe thunderstorm watches as we go out west there in the yellow parts there, which could make its way over in towards our area tomorrow. That's why I did say there's a possibility we could see some thunder showers heading our way tomorrow night. But as we take a look right now at some more regional temperatures, 16 degrees overnight in North Battleford and 22 degrees tomorrow in for the daytime high there in North Battleford. So they dropped 10 degrees there. Taking a look at Cold Lake for tomorrow, showers overnight expected at 17 degrees with showers heading into tomorrow, that high of 19 degrees. And for Lloydminster, 16 degrees overnight, a little bit of cloud coverage, and we could see some showers throughout the day tomorrow and starting in the evening as well, or rather throughout the day, and then 18 degrees tomorrow for the daytime high. But as we take a look right now at the 3-day forecast right now, so showers will continue on with Friday and then possibly even into Saturday as well, the high at 20, another high at 20 on Sunday, but we should have a little bit of a break from the rain with clear skies expected. But that is a first look at your weather forecast. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Border City Connects are hosting their first annual Rib Fest this year to raise money for their organization. We spoke with Glenn Fagnan, director, to find out how the pandemic is affecting the event. I'm joined here with Glenn Fagnan, and he's the director of Border City Connects. Now, for the first year, Border City Connects is doing a Rib Fest, but because of the pandemic, it's going to look a little bit different than a usual one. Can you explain how it's going to work?
We're going to be set up at the parking lot of the Lloyd exhibition, and we're going to have a single line of vehicles, and they will split into 4 separate lines, and they will have access to a ribber truck. So we've got 4 different rib trucks serving distinct kinds of ribs, and the whole idea is that you can get there for 3 or 4 times and try the ribs at least once of each. So that's how it's going to be looking. We're all approved by Sask Health, and all the distancing and everything will come into play. And we'll have an area where your order is placed, and then you will drive up to your designated rib truck, and they will serve that to you in a safe way, and away you go.
And you mentioned that you're going to have the 4 different types of ribs and vendors. Are you guys letting people know what they can expect so far, or is it going to be more of a surprise when it comes to the days?
Well, I think it's going to be, it'll be a surprise, but these guys are seasoned vets, and they've been around for a long time, and they've won all kinds of awards. So it's pretty interesting, the interest they generate when they set up, especially on the original ones. It is a true event, and we're just going to get a snippet of this, but everybody loves the Rib Fest.
And this is also a fundraiser for Border City Connect. So what will the money be going towards?
Well, we've got a number of different things. We've purchased a new handy van just before the pandemic, and this is the first time that we're getting an option to raise. We had some dollars that were left owing on the balance, and we'd like to get that paid off with this fundraiser. It's going towards paying off our brand new van.
And why is it so important for Border City Connects to be able to do fundraisers and raise money?
Well, we don't get a whole pile of support from government, so really the community has been our main source. This is the Handy Van's 40th year operating in Lloydminster, and so we're very proud of that. We certainly are an essential service for those that have mobility and intellectual challenges for transportation, and we've had the pleasure of expanding our services to a number of different things. We have a trishaw. We just brought in a para golf cart that's going to be released here in the next couple of weeks. We've got one of our individuals that's learning all the tricks of this, but this is a golf cart that has a hydraulic lift on it, and it elevates the individual so they can play golf out on the golf course.
That sounds awesome. And if you guys are also looking for sponsors right now as well for the Rib Fest.
You bet. We were struggling a little bit for location wise, and then the Lloyd X has come through with flying colors. So yeah, we still have some sponsorships here that we're looking at cinching up in the next week. And it's going to be great value because we've got this year, and then we're also hitching in the next year where it will be, it's going to be, hopefully, it'll be a live rib fest and with tens of thousands of people there.
And if someone doesn't know, what are the dates and where can they go for more information or other ways that they can help or donate?
Our hours are from 11 to 8 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday 11 to 7. And so there again, that'll be at the Lloyd X grounds. We have information that's on our Facebook page and on our website, and so you should be able to get all the information there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ben.
Well, thank you very much, Jasmine, for having us. We really appreciate your support.
Joining us today is Jacqueline Weed, who is Director of Service Delivery for Big Brothers and Big Sisters. How are you?
I'm good.
Can you explain more on what the Keep Kids Connected national event is all about?
So the Keep Kids Connected event is a partnership between Big Brothers Big Sisters of Canada and Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. And it's really, basically a call to action to seek assistance, to take action, to maintain and support the mentoring relationships that we create and support. So the program, it will be a live event that people can go on and view on Facebook and on YouTube on Big Brothers Big Sisters of Canada pages. And through that, we will have testimonials, interviews, media highlights, just to show the work that we do, and how people support it and also appreciate it. The goal is to secure new donors to support what we do and to donate to agencies and to the movement, and to foster support from existing donors, because those donors are very important as well, because they have all along supported us to make it possible to do what we do. As well as part of the broadcast, they're going to have A-list celebrities and influencers who are going to speak to the mentoring movement as well and share their stories and their support for Big Brothers Big Sisters. So any donations that people make tomorrow while they're watching that event will go directly to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
And what exactly is Big Brothers and Big Sisters looking for from people for this event?
We're just encouraging people to watch. Maybe it will give them some information to learn more about the agency, things that they didn't know. It's just a kind of a fun way to share what we do and why we do it. And then if they want to make a donation, we greatly appreciate it, because any donations that we receive go to supporting the mentoring relationships right in our community. So doing the screening and training of the volunteers, doing the matching, supporting the matches after they are matched. So every bit stays local.
And what kind of assistance are you looking for in the program?
We always need volunteers, people to get involved in those life-changing relationships, become that positive role model in their life. They just have to be over the age of 18. They don't need any special skills or anything like that. We'll get them all set up. We match according to interest and with age group that they're comfortable being matched with. So we try to make it the right fit, because it's going to be a friendship and a relationship that hopefully is going to last for years.
And is this an annual event, or is this a new event that you guys have created this year?
This is the first time that Big Brothers Big Sisters of Canada and America are doing this, and I think it's partly in response to because of COVID. So we're wanting to take the action to, because of what we're doing to support the families, to prevent the social isolation that the young people and families are feeling during this time as well. Just to have some positivity about the movement, tell people we are still here, we are still, making this difference, and just carry forward.
And why do you believe having this program during COVID-19 is important for Big Brothers and Big Sisters?
All of our research and what we have been doing through COVID-19, and actually prior as well, is to provide those constant people in their children's lives, because they were done school, they couldn't see their friends, they had to, when we were on lockdown, they had to be inside. So there's a lot of social isolation that happened, and it affects mental health, it affects emotional health. So if we can have a positive event, get some volunteers, all the better.
And this event is going to be tomorrow, right? Online that people can join?
Yeah, I believe it's 2 p.m. Eastern and it's just an hour. So it'll be at noon. And they can go on Big Brothers Big Sisters of Canada Facebook page or YouTube and watch it live.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jacqueline, and best of luck to Big Brothers and Big Sisters tomorrow for this event.
Thank you so much.
Joined today with Marcus Weber. He's joining me from Landview Drones. And today, Marcus, and yesterday, you were putting on a class to teach different farmers around Vermilion about drone farming and some ways that they can use drones to help with their farming. So thanks for taking some time to talk to me today.
Thank you.
So just starting off, can you just tell me a little bit about this course that's being put on in Vermilion?
Yeah, so it's a 2-day course. We call it Ag Drone School. And people learn how to fly safely, legally, and most importantly, how to use it to make money and save time on the farm. So it's a very practical course, but also a ground school so that they know all of the regulations and can fly legally.
And what are some of the key ways that farmers can use drones to help on their farm?
So typically most farmers will start by using it for one of two things, either crop scouting or for finding cattle. It's one of those two things, checking cows or checking crops. Then as they get to use some other software, some different software workflows, they can use it for creating maps. They can use it for digital elevation modeling, measuring volumes of things. We have a presentation, it's called 101 Uses for Ag Drones, and there are literally 101 uses. It really comes up to the creativity of the user. I equate it kind of with the smartphone. How do you use your smartphone? It's quite different from the person next to you. And it's the same thing with the drone.
And what has the reaction been? Obviously, you've done classes like this in other places. What are reaction from farmers who are maybe haven't used a drone before or maybe been interested in it?
Yeah, so in this particular class, everybody was new to drones. So they all did their first takeoffs and landings at the school. And then by this afternoon, they'll all be doing autonomous mapping. And they're all finding it very interesting, I think. And hopefully informative, but most importantly, also getting them certified so that they can fly legally. They'll have a certificate by the time they leave here today.
And I understand that the pandemic has kind of forced your business to not be able to have as many of these classes as you would have liked. Can you just talk a little bit about maybe some of the precautions that you have in these classes and maybe do you have anything else to add when it comes to that?
Sure. Yeah, we had to cancel 17 of our schools this spring. We hold them in community halls. It's great to be able to have it at a community hall out in the middle of the country. We're really blessed in Alberta to have those halls, but with the regulations, we had to close the schools down this spring. What we're doing now is the usual precautions. So physical distancing and masks are available, and we also sanitize the equipment when we have to hand it off. But we've changed the flow as well so that there's less handing off of equipment and there's time to sanitize all of it in between.
Now, and I understand obviously you're finishing up your day-to-day of the classes, but for people who are interested in possibly taking them in the future, how can they find out more about your business and more about taking class in the future?
They can just go to landview.com. We will be in Lloydminster actually in November, and we'll have a class there. Again, small community hall likely. And we'll firm up all those details now that the restrictions are starting to be eased and we have the opportunity to do that.
Continuing the conversation of drone farming, and you're a farmer in the Vermilion area, you're taking part in this class. Can you just give me your first reaction about maybe what encouraged you to take this class in the first place?
I guess what encouraged me to take the class, I actually am going to school at Lakeland here in Vermilion. I am taking the crop technology program. I'm in my second year. And I had first seen them at Egg in Motion a few years ago, and I thought that was pretty cool then. And then I'd seen the opportunity of them passing through Vermilion and hopped on it, and I figured that was going to be the way of the future of scouting fields to be easier, essentially, and along with going along on the ground. So.
And when I was talking with Marcus, he was saying there's 101 different ways that a farmer could use a drone to help with the day-to-day operations. And so what is the main reason that you will want to use the drone?
I guess my main reason for wanting a drone would be to look forward to using it for scouting. I guess, like he had mentioned, there's the cow package. That one seemed interesting as well. I'd be curious to try that and hopefully get our cows used to it so that you can eventually hover above them or essentially look at them and see the tags up close and kind of make judgment calls without having to go in the pen is essentially the.
All right, well, thank you so much for talking with me today, Devin. I wish you the best of luck with the rest of your course.
All right, thank you.
All right, taking one last look here at your weather forecast. Friday, we could see some showers tonight at that point at 18 degrees daytime high. Estimated we could see a substantial amount of rain, at least over 20 millimeters of rain could be on the way for Friday. As we head into Saturday, some showers could continue on just with a 40% chance there at that high at 20. Then we get to a high of 20 again on Sunday with clear skies expected there. And Monday, some cloud coverage there, just a little bit though at that high of 23 degrees. 21 degrees for Tuesday with more cloud coverage coming in, and then 21 degrees again on Wednesday. And as we get into Thursday, we have that high of 22 degrees with mostly sun and clouds. We usually average around 24 degrees for our daytime high at that point this time of year, and then 11 for our daytime low.
Thanks for joining us for Primetime Local News. Have a great night.